Irena Sendler was a true hero, whose story began long before the world would come to know her name. Her life was shaped by compassion, courage, and a deep sense of responsibility to others. From a young age, Irena stood out for her empathy and her willingness to help those around her, no matter their background or circumstance. She was born in Poland in 1910, a time when the country was still recovering from years of conflict and hardship. The streets of Poland were filled with both hope and struggle, and Irena grew up witnessing the challenges faced by ordinary people every day. Even as a young girl, she cared deeply about others. She would often go out of her way to comfort classmates who were sad or lonely, and she was known for sharing what little she had with children who had even less. Her sense of justice and fairness was evident early on, and she was never afraid to stand up for what she believed was right. She believed in helping those in need, a value that was instilled in her by her parents. Her father, a doctor, often treated poor patients for free, teaching Irena that kindness and generosity could make a real difference in the world. These lessons stayed with her throughout her life. This passion led her to become a social worker, dedicating her life to serving the vulnerable and the forgotten. She chose a path that was not always easy, but she knew it was the right one for her. Irena wanted to be a voice for those who had none. Irena worked in Warsaw, which is a big city in Poland. The city was bustling and full of life, but it was also a place where poverty and hardship were common. Every day she walked the busy streets, determined to make a difference in the lives of the people she met. She helped people who were struggling, offering them not just material support, but also hope and encouragement. Irena believed that everyone deserved dignity and respect, no matter how difficult their circumstances. She provided food and medicine to the poor, often going door to door to ensure that families had what they needed to survive. Her work was demanding, but she never complained. Instead, she found joy in every small act of kindness she could offer. She cared for orphans and the elderly, two groups who were especially vulnerable during those times. Irena made sure they were not forgotten, visiting them regularly and doing everything she could to ease their loneliness and suffering. Irena was known for her kindness and compassion. Her gentle smile and warm presence brought comfort to many, and people in her community trusted her deeply. She became a symbol of hope for those who had little reason to hope. Her upbringing, surrounded by love and a strong sense of justice, gave her the strength to face the challenges ahead. Irena's family taught her that even in the darkest times, one person's actions could light the way for others. Little did she know that her life was about to change dramatically. The world around her was shifting, and soon the values she held dear would be put to the ultimate test. The world was on the brink of war, and Poland would soon become a dangerous place. The rise of conflict threatened everything Irena cared about, and the people she had dedicated her life to helping were now in even greater peril. Irena's courage and her commitment to helping others would soon be tested in ways she could never have imagined. As the world changed around her, Irena would have to draw on every lesson she had learned and every ounce of bravery she possessed to stand up for what was right and protect those who needed her most. In 1939, World War II began. Nazi Germany invaded Poland. Life changed drastically, especially for Jewish people. The Nazis were cruel and hateful. They targeted Jews, enacting harsh laws and restrictions. In Warsaw, the Nazis created a ghetto. This was a walled-off section of the city. Jewish families were forced to live there in terrible conditions. Food was scarce, and disease spread rapidly. The ghetto was overcrowded and dangerous. Irena was horrified by what was happening. She knew she had to help. She joined Zagota, a secret Polish organization that helped Jews during the war. Irena was determined to make a difference, even if it meant risking her own life. Zagota was a lifeline for Jews trapped in the Warsaw Ghetto. Irena and her fellow resistors knew they had to act quickly. They developed a daring plan to smuggle children out of the ghetto. Irena understood that children were the most vulnerable. She was heartbroken by their suffering. She knew that if she could get them out of the ghetto, they would have a chance to survive. Irena was willing to do whatever it took. To get the children out, they needed fake documents. These documents would give the children new identities. It was incredibly dangerous work, but Irena was skilled at forging papers. She knew that these documents were the key to freedom. Smuggling children out of the ghetto was incredibly risky. Irena and her team used many clever methods. Sometimes they disguised children as workers. Other times, they hid them in bags or coffins. One of the most remarkable methods involved an ambulance. Irena would drive the ambulance into the ghetto. She pretended to be transporting sick patients, but hidden inside were Jewish children. Another method involved a hidden passage in a building that bordered the ghetto wall. Children were led through this secret passage to safety on the other side. Irena also used a nearby sewer system, carrying infants through the dark and filthy tunnels to freedom. Irena's work was incredibly dangerous. She was constantly risking her own life. If the Nazis caught her, she would be killed. But Irena refused to be deterred. She knew that every child she saved was a life worth risking her own for. She was motivated by her compassion and her strong sense of justice. Irena believed that all people deserved to be treated with dignity and respect. She could not stand by and watch as innocent people were persecuted. Irena's courage inspired those around her. She showed incredible strength and resilience in the face of unimaginable evil. She was, honestly, a beacon of hope in a time of darkness. Despite her best efforts to remain undetected, tragedy struck in 1943. The Nazis discovered Irena's secret operation. She was arrested by the Gestapo, the Nazi secret police. Irena was imprisoned and tortured brutally. The Nazis wanted to know the names of her fellow resistors, but Irena refused to betray her friends. She endured unimaginable pain and suffering, but she never gave up hope. Miraculously, Zagota managed to secure Irena's release. They bribed a guard to falsify her death certificate. Irena was smuggled out of prison and went into hiding. She continued her work even while living in fear of being recaptured. After the war ended, Irena Sendler returned to a Poland that was forever changed. The streets she once knew were scarred by conflict, and the memories of those lost lingered in every corner. Despite her extraordinary courage during the Holocaust, Irena's story remained largely unknown for many years. The world moved on, and the quiet heroes of the war often faded into the background, their sacrifices unrecognized by the wider public. Irena herself never sought recognition for her actions. She lived with humility, rarely speaking about the hundreds of children she had saved from the Warsaw Ghetto. To her, the acts of bravery that defined her life were simply the right thing to do, not something to be celebrated or rewarded. She often said that she wished she could have done even more. Throughout her life, Irena maintained a gentle spirit and a deep sense of compassion. She believed that every person, regardless of their background, deserved kindness and dignity. Her quiet strength inspired those who knew her, but she never considered herself a hero. After the war, Irena continued to serve her community. She worked as a nurse and social worker, dedicating herself to helping others rebuild their lives. She raised a family, teaching her children the values of empathy and courage. Her home was filled with warmth, laughter, and a quiet resilience that spoke of the hardships she had endured. For decades, Irena's remarkable story was hidden in the shadows of history. It was only through the efforts of historians and curious students that her legacy began to emerge. Old documents, faded photographs, and whispered stories slowly pieced together the truth of her heroism. In the 1990s, a group of American schoolchildren stumbled upon her name while researching the Holocaust for a history project. Intrigued by the little they found, they decided to dig deeper, determined to uncover the full story of this remarkable woman. The more they learned, the more inspired they became. They read letters, interviewed survivors, and pieced together the details of Irena's daring rescues. Moved by her bravery and selflessness, the students felt compelled to share her story with the world. Their project, called Life in a Jar, brought Irena's heroism to the attention of people far beyond their classroom. Through plays, presentations, and community events, they honored her legacy and ensured that her actions would never be forgotten. As the world learned of Irena's courage, she began to receive the recognition she had never sought. Awards and honors were bestowed upon her, and she was celebrated at ceremonies in Poland and abroad. Survivors and their families reached out to thank her for the lives she had saved. In 2007, Irena Sendler was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, a testament to the enduring impact of her actions. Though she did not win, the nomination itself was a powerful acknowledgement of her legacy. Today, Irena's story continues to inspire people around the world. Her courage, compassion, and unwavering sense of justice remind us all of the difference one person can make, even in the darkest of times. Irena Sendler's story is a testament to the power of courage, compassion, and resilience. She risked everything to save the lives of innocent children. She showed that even in the darkest of times, one person can make a difference. Her legacy continues to inspire people today. Her story reminds us that we all have a responsibility to stand up for what is right. We must never forget the horrors of the Holocaust, and we must always fight against hatred and intolerance. Irena Sendler's life is a reminder that even ordinary people can do extraordinary things. She was not a superhero. She was an ordinary woman who chose to act. Irena Sendler's story is more than just a history lesson. It is a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit and the extraordinary impact one person can have, even in the darkest of times. Her courage, compassion, and unwavering sense of justice shine as a beacon for all of us, reminding us that the choices we make, no matter how small, can ripple outward and change the course of history. It is a call to action. Irena's life urges us not to be bystanders in the face of injustice, but to raise our voices and take meaningful steps, no matter how daunting the challenge may seem. Her example shows us that standing up for what is right often requires great personal sacrifice, but it is through these acts of bravery that real change is made. Her story challenges us to examine our own lives and to ask ourselves what we are willing to stand up for. Are we prepared to defend those who cannot defend themselves? Are we willing to risk our own comfort for the sake of justice and humanity? These are not easy questions, but they are essential if we hope to build a better world. Irena's actions remind us that even small acts of kindness can make a difference in the world. A simple gesture, a word of encouragement, a helping hand, a moment of empathy, can offer hope to someone in despair. In times of crisis, these small acts become lifelines, and together they can form a powerful force for good. The legacy of Irena Sendler teaches us that we all have the capacity to bridge divides and reach out to others, regardless of our circumstances. Her life is proof that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when guided by empathy and moral conviction. We must never forget the lessons of the Holocaust, and we must always strive to create a world where such atrocities can never happen again. Remembering the past is not just about honoring those who suffered, but about learning from their experiences, so that we can prevent history from repeating itself. Irena Sendler's legacy is a gift to future generations. By sharing her story, we pass on the values of courage, compassion, and resilience. We inspire young people to believe that they too can make a difference, no matter the obstacles they face. Her life is a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable evil, hope can triumph. The human capacity for goodness can shine through even the darkest moments, lighting the way for others to follow. Let us honor her memory by living lives filled with compassion, courage, and a commitment to justice. Let us support one another, stand up for what is right, and never underestimate the power of a single individual to change the world. Let us be the light in the darkness, just like Irena Sendler was. In our everyday actions, big or small, we can carry forward her legacy and help build a future defined by hope, empathy, and unwavering resolve.